This part is so crazy. Kafka standing on all the bodies of his lost comrades, saying that's not what he want to experience. This shit look cold as hell.
Got 100 on my dash, got 200 in my trunk. Name in the grab bags for my trunk.
What's up, y'all? We back at it with another episode of Kaiju number 8, episode 20, man. So it seems as if they have slowed down the pace of the show, and I like it. I really like it. I love the fact that they did it. I wish they would have did it a lot sooner. I want to say last week episode 19 is when they actually started slowing down the pace of the show, and this episode was slow as well, which made it great. It made it better. You really got to feel those emotional moments that happened throughout this episode. Before that, it felt like it was kind of going fast pacing a lot of content, at least in my opinion. You guys can let me know if y'all feel the same way. But in this episode, we got the continuation between Reno as well as Iharu facing off against this kaiju, this giant daikaiju. And in case you want to go to the manga and actually check it out, it takes place from manga chapter 63, like halfway in the middle of 63, all the way to chapter 66, in case you want to know where these episodes were. And when it comes to this episode, pretty much everything in here was all was all content from the manga. It was nothing new added. Everything came straight from the manga. It was one scene that they switched up with Kafka, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. In fact, the switch up that they chose to do made it better than what it actually was in the manga, you know what I'm saying? And we'll talk about it as we get through this video. But I want to talk about Iharu as a character, man. Like, I already rock with him from the manga, but this episode just really made you feel how dope he is. And he has an ability that's different from most cadets within the Defense Force. His ability is where while he's fighting, his power fluctuates. Like when he needs it the most, his power spikes to the highest. And then like when he does something goofy or he's not really in danger, his power plummeted from anywhere from 22%, it goes down to 22%. And then at its highest, it could go up to about, I think it was 45%, which is on par with Reno, the person he's trying to chase after. And why I feel like his power is better than most people is because the fact that he's unaware of how his power is, it's going to constantly have him try to push himself. As you've seen, he's been constantly trying to keep up with Reno, not knowing that his power can spike and make him stronger. And you have it right here where they're able to witness this in battle, where they're watching him like, yo, there's no way this guy can be doing stuff like this at a 24%. And you have it where they're looking, it's like, well, now it's saying his power is at 42%. And you have it where the captain of this division, is like, yo, he may be a similar type to me. He might be one of those ones where his power spikes depending on the situation. You have moments where his power drops down real low, and again, moments where it drops down, it skyrockets real high. So he is a different type of fighter, and I feel like it's the best class because I wouldn't even tell him, because it will always make him try to strive to be better. You even have this moment throughout the episode where he's thinking of like, yo, I can't compete with these guys. I'm nowhere like them. You have it where he's looking like, I'm the one who always reaches this wall. They never had to reach this wall. They're all prodigies. They're all, excellent Defense Force soldiers, where they're constantly getting stronger and stronger. He feels like, yo, I'm not that type of guy. But you know what? If there's a wall in front of me, you just have this moment where he's just like, yo, fuck it. I'm going to keep punching this wall until it crumbles, no matter what it takes. And you got it where it jumps to him in the real life, where he's going all out, not realizing that his power is actually at 42% right now. All the stuff that he's doing is at a high percentage, but he's not thinking that because he's only focused on the numbers they told him. Like, yo, your max output is 24%. Luckily, the captain of this squad they was transferred to is smart enough to look at a person and tell how strong they are, how much output power they're releasing. And he's looking at him like, yo, there's no way that this is 24%. That's a lot stronger. I'm not mistaken. Like, yo, let me know his numbers. And I feel like, that kind of shows the maturity and levels between Mina in this captain right here. Not saying Mina is a bad captain, but she's still very young. She's around the same age as Kafka, and as we see with this captain, he's a lot older because he's been with the Defense Force a lot longer. And Mina, this kind of shows her inexperience. Not saying she's a bad captain, but she wasn't able to realize that she had a cadet on her squad who power can fluctuate. And you have it where this guy's only been on a battlefield with Iharu for maybe a few minutes, maybe 30 minutes at the max, and he was already able to pick up like, yo, this dude is actually releasing more power than he knows about, than he's capable, than he thinks he's capable of releasing. And you just have it where he actually gives Reno the opportunity to take out this Kaiju because he actually opens up the core, and you have this moment where Reno is able to unleash his power and actually take this Kaiju down. And I'm not gonna lie, this attack looks so damn powerful. Like I said, if you think Reno dope now, he's only gonna get better. I'm not gonna spoil it for my anime onlys, but he's only gonna get stronger. Just keep that in mind. And you have this right here where Reno realized that he finished off the Kaiju. You got them all happy with one another, and you got this amazing moment where the general, he's thinking about, well, not the general, but the captain of this particular squad, he's thinking about how the moment was when you had Kikaru's mother ask him, do you think she should continue? Do you think she can handle using weapon number 4? Because she was a cadet under his wing as well. And he's thinking to himself, if I would have told her no, there's a chance that she could still be alive. So he feels the responsibility and guilt of Kikaru's mother's death. And he was the one who told her, like, yo, when she asked, like, yo, you think I could wear number 4? You think I'm capable of handling it? He looked at it and he said, like, yo, without a question, without a doubt, you can handle that suit. And then eventually it led to her death. And you can see that it's been weighing on him ever since. And he doesn't want to make the same mistake with these cadets here, with Reno as well as Iharu. So that's why he wants to train them and make them as strong as possible, as strong as he can. And you just got them celebrating that they were able to take down this Daikaiju with just the 2 of them. You also got other people within the Defense Force cheering about it. And you have it where this captain approves them and tells them, like, yo, you're able to wear number 6. You passed the test. Then you have this moment where Mina's actually talking to him and saying, like, yo, I sent him to your squad because I wanted you to approve him. Well, I wanted you to be the one to test him to see if he was ready for the suit, which shows how much Mina cares about her cadets, her officers, because she said, yo, you're the most expert, when it comes to handling numbers weapons, and so I don't want my cadet to die. So I sent him to you so that you can let me know if he's ready for this, because I trust your answer. I trust your thought process on this, because you have the most experience when it comes to number weapons. And I think that was an amazing moment as well. But then we have it where Kafka, as well as Kikaru, they find out that Reno, now has the number weapon suit, that he's able to wear it. And you have it where Kafka, he's a little worried because he's thinking, like, yo, if Reno has a number weapon suit, there's a chance that number 9 would go after him. And it makes sense. That's actually a smart way to think. I mean, because me personally, I didn't even think about this until I seen it in the manga. But yeah, the fact that number 9 went after the general because he had a numbers weapon means that he may possibly do it again if he sees someone else with a number weapon. And outside of number 2, number 6 was considered to be the strongest kaiju in history. It took down so many soldiers. Well, not in history, but in modern times, as far as when they started doing numbers for kaijus. So the fact that Kafka is worried that this number 9 may actually see him as someone he should go after and try to acquire, it has Kafka worried. Kafka's like, yo, he shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't be wearing a number weapon suit. And I like to see that Kafka still cares for his cadets. Well, I mean, his teammates. But you also have it with Kikaru saying, like, yo, stop doubting us. He knows what he's doing. Have more faith in your teammates. And then you have it where she says to herself, if he got stronger, then I'm just going to have to create a bigger gap. And that's what I like about Kikaru. She's not going to stay there, stand around and let people get stronger. But now you have it where Kafka, he's hearing about everyone becoming stronger, and it's making him feel down on himself. He's thinking to himself like, yo, I've never been able to do anything on my own. Everything I've done was with the help of Kaiju number 8. Kafka himself has not improved. But then you have it where the vice captain shows up. And let me tell you, this shows you how fast the vice captain is, because keep in mind, he's not wearing his suit. He's not wearing any suit. This is just pure speed. And the first thing he does is when he sees Kafka is this right here. Check out the damn speed, man. Check it out. Like, look at this. Boom. He already vanished. He's not wearing no Defense Force suit. He just had a regular uniform on. And look how fast. He's instantly gone right there. Boom. And he's already got the blade to the neck of Kafka. Yo, already has the blade to the neck of Kafka. This shows you how talented and how powerful this guy really is. Man, it's insane that he's this fast without even wearing a suit. But you have it where eventually, you know, he tells Kafka, and he shows how much he cares for his fellow officers as well. He tells Kafka like, yo, don't worry about transforming into number 8 anymore, because we heard the more you transform, you know, there's a chance you might not be able to turn back human. So if that's the case, don't transform. Worry about getting Kafka stronger, not number 8, and I will handle number 9 myself. It shows how much he truly cares for Kafka, because he's willing to take on that burden of taking down number 9 on his own. But then you have it where Kafka says to him like, yo, there's no way in hell I could do something like that. And then you have it where, you know, the vice captain thinks to himself like that, this dude exposed himself to the whole 3rd division, you know what I'm saying, without a second hesitation. So it's hard, it's obvious that he wouldn't turn down not transforming into number 8 when it means helping people out, people he care about. And then you just have this moment right here, and I'm about to show y'all that's different from the manga. You have this part with Kafka pretty much saying like, yo, I will accept the fate of being number 8. Like, yo, I don't care if I get stuck as a kaiju. I don't want to see my friends get hurt or cry anymore. And this panel, it looked amazing in the manga. Let me see if I can bring it up for you guys in the manga. This part looks so damn amazing. So I do think this part looks a lot better in the manga, but at the same time, this shit it looks clean on the anime. It looks clean as hell. But then we got this part right here where they switch it up a little bit, and you got it where the vice captain looks at Kafka, and he can automatically tell, like I was just saying earlier, that Kafka isn't going to let his friends get taken out. He's not going to, if it means him being stuck as a kaiju, Kafka would gladly sacrifice himself in order to protect those he care about. And then you have this moment right here. So if you look at this part right here, this shit looks crazy, man. You got all the skulls in the background. You got Kafka standing there in this kaiju form. This part looks goated as hell. And this is one of those parts where the people on the animation team did something different from the manga, which actually made it better in my opinion. So when you get to when you guys can let me know which one y'all think is better. But when you get to this part in the manga, chapter 65 to be exact, when you get to this part in the manga, this is how it looks. So it has Kafka standing on the corpses. Hopefully, hopefully the camera cleared up. But you have Kafka standing on the corpses, and he's in his human form. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to on the screen right here, they actually got him in this kaiju form. And I feel like they made a better choice using the kaiju form as opposed to using, you know what I'm saying, using the human form. Now, I guess the human form, some people could look at that as being better, saying it shows the humanity of Kafka and what he's willing to sacrifice. But I just feel like showing the kaiju form, it kind of lets you know that, yeah, what he's trying to sacrifice and what he will become if he continue to transform. So that's why I think it's better. But you guys can let me know which one y'all think is better. But we have it where they actually go to this temple, and you have it where Hoshino, he's planning on training Kafka how to make himself stronger so he won't have to resort on the power of Kaiju number 8 too often. And while he's there, you have it where he's telling him a story about the shrine that they at and how people a lot of people died at this shrine. You know, if you look at the painting, let me see if I can find it right here. But you got them looking at this painting on this shrine about everything that went down in this on this battlefield where a lot of soldiers lost their lives right here. So this plays a big part into something that goes on later on in the manga. I'm not going to spoil it for my anime onlys. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even realize this happened. And I went back, it is actually in the manga, but I never even paid it no attention until like watching this episode in the anime. I'm like, yo, this is the event that they're talking about in the past that happened, you know, blank, blank, blank. For my anime owners, I'm not going to spoil it for y'all. But my manga readers, you already know what situation this is right here. And next thing you know, you have it where Kafka faces off against Hoshina. And Hoshina is, you know, not taking it easy on him. He's kind of whooping his ass, and Kafka's thinking to himself like, yo, I haven't got stronger. But Hoshina reassures him like, yo, you have got stronger. Your technique, the way you move, everything you're doing shows that you've been constantly training. You've been constantly improving. And then you have it where he tells Kafka his biggest flaw. Kafka's biggest flaw is the way he fights. And he fights like a person. He fights like a kaiju. He fights like someone who knows they're unkillable, someone who can regenerate, someone, if they lose a limb, they can regenerate and bring back body parts. And Hoshina is telling him like, yo, that's not the way you should fight, because fighting like you're unkillable is exactly what's going to lead to you being killed. And it makes so much sense. It's so smart. And the fact that Kafka didn't even realize that, it shows how much more training he needs. But you have it where Hoshina tells him like, yo, the way you doing this, it's going to get you killed on this battlefield, and I don't want that to happen for you. So I'm going to train your skills. I'm going to get you stronger so that you won't have to rely on your kaiju powers all the time to get you out of a jam. So you won't have to constantly keep transforming some of the stuff you can do on your own without, you know what I'm saying, your kaiju abilities. And that's pretty much what Hoshina's trying to drill into him. But you have it where they finish their training for the day, and as they walk off, you have this moment where Kafka is walking off, and then he happens to look back, and when he looks back, he sees a samurai. You have this guy wearing samurai armor, you know, looking at Kafka with these evil eyes. Well, not necessarily evil eyes, but I'd say piercing eyes. And you got it where Kafka himself is thinking like, yo, what the hell is this going on? Like, who is that guy? Next thing you know, you have Hoshina saying like, yo, let's keep it moving, let's get going. And you have it where that's where the episode ends. But all in all, man, amazing episode. I will say, outside of last week's episode, this probably be my second favorite episode. And like I said, them slowing it down has been making these episodes even better for me. But for those who have read the manga, tell me if you like the slower pace or do you like the faster pace that we had at the beginning of this season. Let me know down below. And if you like this video, thumb it up, please subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.